Hey, how's it going? So I'm trying something a little different today. Thought I'd start my introduction with a full face. I don't know how that's gonna go, but we'll see. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate your time. So today we're gonna do a full face of drugstore. And it's not my first time recording this video, so hopefully it goes better because the last couple of times was a disaster. Anyway, if you want to see this face in action, let's get into it. I'm cheating a little bit because this is not the first time I've recorded this video. This is like my third attempt. The first and second times were really bad. I tried out some new stuff I'd never used and some stuff that I love, of course. So before we get into all of that, let me just say this has been a struggle. I'm gonna do it this time. Also, I don't own any drugstore eyeshadow palettes or single eyeshadows, so I'm going to just use my face products as eye products today. So that should be fun. For my face, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Camo Cc Cream. I've used this twice before. I really like it. It's been compared to the It Cosmetics CC Cream. The It Cosmetics is almost $40 and this is $14. And $14 is a little bit high for drugstore, especially for e.l.f. But when compared to the $39 price tag of the It, this is amazing. I really like this. My other favorite from the drugstore is the L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible Wear, something to that effect. I love that foundation. I don't happen to have one in my shade, so I thought I would try something new. I think I'll go in first with a foundation brush and see how that works. There's cat hair. I just washed these and there's already cat hair. Alright, so I'm going to start just dabbing that everywhere, except my under eyes. I want to keep as few products under there as possible. Also, I've already prepped my face. I've done all my skincare. That's been resting on my face for a couple of hours now. I do that pretty early in the morning. Does not look like a good color match because my skin is so darn red. But I think it will work out. Just gonna get a little bit more on my brush, going on this side. Come on, hairs. Don't need to be in there. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, which I'm gonna use the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the regular formula. I used the hydrating formula under my eyes. Just a little bit. Okay, I've got my concealer on there. I'm just gonna blend it out. That was probably way too much. Jeez, little crow. It has really nice coverage though, so if your under eyes aren't really dry and crepey like mine, you could totally use this for your under eyes. I've had these under eyes for 43 years. They are lived in. So they crease and they wrinkle. So I can't put this down there. I have to use the hydrating one. But for my lids, it looks really nice. I like it. And this is the hydrating formula. And to blend this out, I'm just going to use a tiny beauty sponge. Dampened, of course. Just patting that out. Pat, pat, pat. And then going under my eyes. And kind of bringing it up towards my temple to lift my face a bit. And then the same thing on this side. There, that blended out really nicely. So to set my under eyes, I use a hydrating setting spray. This happens to be the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Cucumber. I usually use the Watermelon Glow Recipe setting spray, but we'll try this today. I can't go under here with powder because it gets really dried out and creepy. And this tends to help that not happen. Give that a minute to dry. And then before I go with powder, I'm going to tap over my eyelids with the concealer brush I use just to get out any creases that may have formed. So do that now. If I set it with the creases there, they'll be there all day until I wash it off. And that's not a cute look. Where's my other brush? Found it. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. And I used it in one of the other videos I tried to shoot with a different foundation. It was a hot mess. So I thought I would try it today with a foundation CC Cream that I know and like a lot. And that way I can decide if it's the powder I don't like or it was the combination of the two. So I'm gonna start setting my face. Also, this is a pressed powder, and normally I use a loose powder. Avoiding my immediate under eye area. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Weirdly, it still looks funky in the camera, but in the mirror, it looks totally fine. Matches me exactly. Eventually I'll figure out this lighting thing. It's just not going to be today, apparently. Which is actually a tiny bit frustrating because I did try really hard this morning to get everything figured out. We'll get there. Okay, next I'm going to go on to bronzer. The only drugstore bronzer I have is Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I bought this last summer when I was super tan. But I think if I go in with a very light hand, with a very fluffy brush, it might work. I did buy the Wet n Wild, nope, it was an e.l.f. 4-pan multiple color contour bronzer palette, and it was awful for me. That's not to say it wouldn't work for somebody else, but the powders were super pigmented, they didn't blend out very well. It just wasn't worth the effort. But this one, the Physicians Formula bronzers are amazing. And I think not too dark. Reddish hue. But in the summertime, so do I. I would normally contour with a different shade, but I don't have one. So we're just gonna go with this and hope it all works out. I don't know. Okay. Now for blush, I also picked up the 4-pan e.l.f. powder blush palette. And this, I actually really liked. I used this one and this one, and I thought they were very nice. So we're gonna try that again. I'm gonna go with the lighter shade first because these are super pigmented. And I'm really just patting it in there. And then I'm going to go in with this darker pink shade. Just to, oop, hang on to it. Add a little depth up here. Okay, that's looking a little crazy. If you're not, I can fix it. I do want to put a little on my nose though. Just on the tip. I think it's a super cute effect. Yeah. Now tone down the heavy-handed blush, I can just go over it with my foundation brush and just pat it a little bit. And that will tone it down some. I am not opposed to a strong blush though. I think it looks awesome. Okay, and now for highlighter, we're going to use the Milani 3-pan palette. Rose Gold is the name of it. And I will go in with the lightest shade on my cheekers. This is a very strong highlight, and I'm okay with that. Do a little my Cupid's bow. I like it. And then with a smaller brush, I'm going to put a little bit on the tip of my nose. Kind of on the top tip, not on the bottom. And then I like to put a little here, and here, and a very tiny bit here. All right, I'm gonna go back into my bronzer. I'm gonna go back into my bronzer with a fluffy shadow brush just to put that in my crease for a little definition. This bronzer is scented, a bit like coconut, which is not my favorite. But you can't smell it once it's on your face. It just fades away. There. Do that to this side. And then I'm going to take my blush palette, and there's these two colors at the bottom. I think I want to go with this one and put that on my outer lid with that flat brush. I dipped into all of the colors except for the one I wanted. There. Get that on there. Same thing over here. And then I'll go back in with the bronzer brush. Just smooth that out a little. I'm going to wipe off that brush a little and dip back into the highlighter. I think this time I'm going to use the middle shade, the more gold one. And put that on my inner lid and overlap that pink color. There we go. And I'm going to wipe the brush off again and go back into my bronzer just to put a little on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take my fluffy brush with no additional product on it and just run that under to give it a little bit of a blend. There. I think that's nice. Not a whole lot of work, not a whole lot of products. And anytime you can use one thing for multiple things, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. All right, for eyeliner, I'm going to go in with this Revlon Color Stay eyeliner in the shade Jade. I'm not overly familiar with this, so I mean, I've obviously used it. I just can't remember if I liked it or not, so. That is not pigmented. That's unfortunate. So I definitely don't recommend that. From Ulta Beauty, I have this automatic eyeliner in the shade Bronze. We'll try that. That's nice. Subtle. A little something. I'm not sure I'd recommend that either, unless you like a subtle waterline, and then go for it. Okie dokie. Normally in my waterline, I use a Milk Makeup eyeliner in the shade CEO. It's a dark brown. I love that so much. Okay, face is done. I'm going to use my Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is a mattifying setting spray, so hopefully it will help my makeup last. It's nice and relaxing. It's also Jackson's favorite part. He loves little setting spray fan moment. Okay, now for brows, I'm gonna use my Maybelline Ultra Slim Brow Pencil and my e.l.f. Wow Brow. These are both products I use on the daily. I love them. First, I'm gonna use this to put my mole / beauty marks back on. And then we'll just brush through the brows. I don't know what I'm doing with my brows right now. Since I can't decide, I'm really not doing anything. I'm just letting them live their life. I am really sorry if you can hear my stomach. It's objecting to the no food portion of the program. Do I think that looks okay? And then I'll brush through with some of the Brow Wow. Nope. Wow Brow. I always say Brow Wow. I just think it's funny. This guy needs a little more help. That's as much as it's gonna get. I definitely like more of a natural looking brow as opposed to a very structured cut brow. And now we move on to curling my lashes and mascara. I did pick up a new drugstore mascara. It's the Maybelline Sky High. Unfortunately, it's the waterproof version, which I try to avoid at all costs, but I really want to try the new mascara. And then I saw a tip that said if you use a primer underneath, that can help the mascara come off more easily. And if it does, that will be amazing. The Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational Mascara. But I'm gonna prime them, or primer. Lash Primer by Essence. It's the volume booster. Hopefully this will help everything come off easier later. This is just a white eyelash primer. A little crazed. To let that dry fully before I go in with my mascara, so I'll be back in just a minute. Instead, I decided while that's drying to do my lips. So for my lip liner today, I have the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Crayon in the shade Lay Down the Mauves. And then I couldn't decide which lipstick to go for. This one is the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. And this one is the L'Oreal Paris something. I don't know. I love them both. I think I might go with this one for today. It's a little bit lighter nude shade. All right, I'm gonna line my lips first. that worked out pretty well. Now I'm going to go in with my mascara. It does have the stabby kind of brush on it, but it's super flexible, so it doesn't feel as dangerous as a stiffer wand. Hey, tarantula eyes. I don't know, what do we think? Let me look at the mirror real quick. It's definitely a look. I don't think I hate it. They don't look fluffy and pretty, but I don't hate it. I'm gonna take my hair down so we can see the finished look. What do we think? I think I like it. Everything worked really well, which I was hoping for since this is not my first time trying these products. Oh, what a disaster. So I think, I don't know, dumpster fire or diamond in the rough. I think diamond in the rough. I can definitely see myself using most of these products again. Maybe not the mascara unless I'm going for this specific look for my lashes. But everything else worked out really, really well. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you have any favorites that I used today? Do you have other drugstore favorites that I should check out? Let me know, I'm interested. If you like the video, like and comment, subscribe, hit the all button next to the notification bell, and come back for another video. Thank you so much for your time today. Be good, and remember to be kind to you. Just put that anywhere. And it didn't smash. Yay!